There's a prison most people never escape from. No walls, no bars, no guards. Just you and your thoughts. And the worst part? You're both the prisoner and the jailer. This is a story about a young man who discovered the one habit that kept him trapped his entire life. His name was Arjun, 24 years old, college dropout, living in a small rented room. Every morning he woke up with plans. Today I'll start. Today I'll change. Today will be different. But by evening, nothing had moved. His notebooks were full of ideas. His phone was full of saved motivational videos. His mind was full of dreams. But his life, empty. People called him lazy. His parents called him careless. But Arjun wasn't lazy. He was drowning in his own thoughts. Every time he wanted to do something, his mind would speak. What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you're not good enough? And slowly he learned to listen, to wait, to overthink, until waiting became his identity. One night, Arjun sat on his bed, staring at his reflection in the phone screen. He had just spent 6 hours scrolling, not because he was enjoying it, but because he was avoiding something. Avoiding the assignment, avoiding the job application, avoiding the conversation he needed to have. He whispered to himself, "Why can't I just do it?" His chest felt heavy, his breathing shallow. He opened his journal and wrote, "I think too much, I plan too much, I prepare too much, but I never start." He realized something terrifying that night. He wasn't afraid of failure. He was afraid of starting. Because starting meant leaving the safety of his mind, the place where everything was perfect, where he could dream without risk. But that safety was killing him. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. He watched his friends move forward, get jobs, build lives, take risks, and he stayed still, stuck, paralyzed, trapped inside his own head. One evening, Arjun went to a small tea shop near his house. An old man sat in the corner, a carpenter, rough hands, quiet eyes. Arjun had seen him before, always working, always calm. That day, the old man was carving a small wooden bird. Arjun watched him for a while, then asked, "How do you do it? How do you just work without thinking too much?" The old man smiled. He didn't stop carving. He just said, "I used to be like you." Arjun froze. The old man continued, "I spent years planning the perfect chair, the perfect table, the perfect design, but I never built anything, because in my mind, everything had to be perfect first." He paused, looked at Arjun. "Then one day, someone told me something that changed my life." Arjun leaned forward. They said, "Your mind is a beautiful place to visit, but a terrible place to live." The old man held up the wooden bird. "This bird? It's not perfect. I made mistakes, but it exists because I stopped thinking and started carving." He placed the bird in Arjun's hand. The habit that keeps you stuck is not overthinking. It's believing that thinking is the same as doing. Arjun walked home that night holding the wooden bird. He stared at it for hours. It wasn't perfect. The wings were uneven, the beak was rough, but it was real. And suddenly Arjun understood. All his plans, all his ideas, all his thoughts, they were beautiful, but they were ghosts. They lived only in his mind. They had no weight, no presence, no proof. He opened his laptop, and instead of planning, instead of researching, instead of preparing, he started. He wrote one paragraph, not perfect, just real. He sent one email, not polished, just honest. He made one call, not planned, just necessary. And something shifted. The moment he stopped living in his mind and started living in action, the prison doors opened. Not because his fear disappeared, but because he stopped waiting for it to. Over the next few weeks, Arjun changed. Not overnight, not dramatically, but consistently. He stopped asking, "What if I fail?" He started asking, "What if I try?" He stopped preparing endlessly. He started acting imperfectly. And slowly his life began to move. Here's the truth most people never learn. Your mind is not your enemy, but it becomes one when you live there too long. Thinking is powerful, but action is proof. Planning is important, but starting is everything. You can spend your entire life preparing for the perfect moment, or you can take one imperfect step and create the moment yourself. The habit that keeps you stuck is simple. You think instead of do. You imagine instead of build. You wait instead of start. And the longer you wait, the heavier the weight becomes. Until one day you look back and realize you spent your whole life getting ready to live, but you never actually lived. Arjun still keeps that wooden bird on his desk. It reminds him of a simple truth. Imperfect action beats perfect thought every single time. So if you're stuck in your own mind right now, listen carefully. You don't need a better plan. You don't need more time. You don't need more confidence. You just need to start. One step, one word, one decision. Because the life you want is not waiting in your thoughts, it's waiting in your actions. Stop thinking, start doing, and watch everything change. If this story touched you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that wake you up from the inside.